What's up, Wildcat Nation? Welcome back to episode 6 of the Inside Out Show presented by Burritos. We want to wish everyone a very happy new year. Welcome to 2025, and we have an action-packed episode for you here today.
We do indeed. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. You know, there's been a couple of games since we last did the podcast. Bethune-Cookman, Eastern Michigan, George Mason, Duquesne. We've got a great interview with our new captain, Michael Katsock. He's quite a charismatic fellow with the microphone, so I think you guys will enjoy that.
It's a must-watch interview at the end. Great talking with Sox.
Yeah. And then we've got our Swish and Brick and our starting five this week. We're doing movies.
That's right.
So it's
not Christmas movies. Not Christmas movies. We already did that.
Time.
Just all-time movies. I think we're going to be pretty good today.
Yeah. So you've got an action-packed episode to look forward to.
That's right. And first, let's hear a quick word from our sponsors over at Burritos. Before we get started today, let's hear more about our partners over at Burritos. Located just south of campus on Main Street, Burritos is a family-owned and operated casual dining Mexican restaurant. Burritos offers indoor and outdoor dining options, as well as curbside takeout services. Orders can be placed online at visitcarburritos.com/Davidson. So before we get into all that, we first want to address something different about our set, and that would be this nice hornet's nest sitting to the left of me right here. We mentioned it last episode, but we did not have it. Nope. There's a funny story behind it. Coach Matt McKillop, last year when we won it down in Charlotte, he brought it home and put it on his kitchen table for his kids to see when they woke up, and they obviously had no idea what it was. It was a pretty funny experience. So this year he went home, did the same, and then finally brought it back after about a week. He enjoyed having it at his house. So it's finally back in the locker room.
And it's rightful home.
That's right. Where it belongs, and it's going to stick with us for the podcast today, just as a nice little reminder. Speaking of, we're going to get into some of our game recaps. Yep. Starting with Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, it feels like it was an eternity ago,
right? It really does.
Right before the Christmas break.
It was before Christmas break. Sent off into Christmas. So, I mean, it was a good win. Yeah. It was a solid win.
They came off a pretty good couple of wins, didn't they?
They did.
Into that game?
We're catching a lot of teams right as they're playing well, which is great for us because we're getting teams' best shot, and that's exactly what we want. So we got their best shot, but we took care of business. They kind of gave up towards the end, it seemed like, but it was for the first, 3/4 of the game, they were fighting, and we were just playing really well heading into Christmas.
Yeah, I think everyone was kind of looking forward to that little Christmas break, and they wanted to go out on a bang,
Yep.
Get something to carry them through Christmas and have something to look forward to when we got back. So,
I think we did do that.
Good. We did a good job with that. And then Eastern Michigan came back. It's always a bit tough coming off Christmas because you lose a little bit of conditioning.
How was your Christmas break, by the way? What'd you get up to?
I was just hanging out in Davidson with my girlfriend and her family. Did Christmas at their place. It was really nice. It was good to be in a home environment around the Christmas time, a lot of people in the house because you don't really get that being an international student with your family not here. So it was good to be able to spend some time with the family and get a nice Christmassy vibe.
Nice.
It was great.
I was able to go home and be with my whole family and all my cousins and aunts and uncles. So it was a nice 4 days. I enjoyed it a lot. I love Christmas time, so it was good. But it was also good to come back and kick off the new year with a Eastern Michigan win.
You get itching for it a little bit. You spend 4 or 5 days off, and you just want to get back in the gym a little bit. I don't know about you, but that's kind of how I felt.
That's exactly how I felt. I was excited for that Eastern Michigan game, and I was feeling great. With those 4 days off, your body just feels rejuvenated. All the kinks are worked out, and we hit the ground running.
We did.
It was a fun game.
Yeah, we took it to them in that one, for sure. My favorite part of that game, well, not my favorite part, but at the very end of the game, I was in kind of the garbage minutes, and I got dunked on by old guy.
I forgot about that.
His name, God's Love. His name was God's Love. One word, God's Love.
You were baptized by God's love.
Baptized by God's love.
You were baptized by God's love.
Yeah, kind of crazy. He didn't even really dunk the ball very well.
No.
Like, he kind of just got up, threw it in the rim, grabbed it and pulled it down, screamed at him and one of their other players screamed at me. And I just kind of laughed at them.
Yeah, because what were you up by
25,
20? Yeah.
So I just kind of had a giggle to myself.
Yeah, it was a fun game. My favorite part was more of the whole game.
It was a good game.
I would say I did get a career high.
Oh yeah,
so
didn't you? How many points was that?
That was
34
pretty
points.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that was one of the, we talk about highlights of the season. That was probably one of the better highlights of my season so far this year. So.
We were saying, though, it was the quietest 34-point game that I've ever seen. Because the way Connor plays basketball, it's not flashy. He's not out there crossing people up and dunking it. A little bit of that. But he's
not
running
much dunking,
around.
but maybe
he's
crossing
around,
up.
He's cutting. He's shooting threes, back cut layups. Like, all of a sudden you look up and, oh, my God, he's got 34 points. Kind of sneaks up on you a little bit.
Yeah, it even snuck up on me a little bit because I didn't feel like I was trying to force anything.
Exactly.
I never do. I was just kind of taking what was there, and that's kind of just how the game unfolded. So
it was impressive.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was a fun win, and that kind of carried us right into conference play.
It did.
Which is A10 conference is just a gauntlet, and there's parity, and you never know what you're going to get. So
anyone can win on any night in the A10,
and we've seen that so far this year on the largest scale.
Yeah,
with Dayton going down by 20 to George Washington. We were in D.C. and had a close loss to George Mason, a good George Mason team. And then they went up and took it down to the wire with Rhode Island, who's hardly lost any games. It's crazy this year. So
who actually got beat? George Mason beat Rhode Island.
Rhode Island beat them on a buzzer beater.
Yes, and then Duquesne, who we just beat Rhode Island.
The game before.
So the conference really just doesn't make much sense.
Yeah,
it's really any given night in the A10, but yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and that's how you want it. Every game is competitive. Exactly. It's anyone's conference right now, so we're feeling good. Obviously, just coming off this win against Duquesne.
Yep.
Great win for the team, and I will say our 2 games since Christmas break have been the most crowded. Also, can we talk about the fire alarm that went off before Eastern Michigan?
I don't know.
Like we're warming up. We're warming up, and they got like a smoke machine for when we run out.
Yep.
Add to the effect with the lights. And I don't know what happened. Maybe they had it on the high power instead of the low power, but there was a lot of fog, and the fire alarm went off.
Yeah.
Everyone had to leave the gym, and then, we left, and we came back like 20 minutes later and started the game. I've never seen anything like that before.
No, that was kind of crazy. But I think we stayed warm, and we
did.
were okay with it.
And shout out to the fans because everyone came back.
Yeah.
It was packed, and everyone had to leave.
I thought
everyone came back. It was raining outside, so... Obviously,
shout out to Wildcat fans.
Shout out to the fans.
Awesome.
And then we had great fans for our home opener for conference play against Duquesne. So we got to keep carrying that. We're undefeated at home.
Definitely.
That's a big reason why.
That is a big reason why.
Let's keep that up.
Maybe it's due to the podcast too. You never know. It could be the Inside Out Show effect.
Yeah, I would like to think
that,
but I don't know
support.
if we can give ourselves that much credit quite yet.
I don't know. Maybe.
You never know. All right, and do you want to transition to Swish and Brick now?
Swish and Brick. Let's do it. My Swish this week is Fortnite.
Yes.
Because winter break is here. We have practice, usually 12 or 2 lift during the earlier parts of the day, and then for the whole later part of the day, it's cold outside, there's nothing to do, so the guys and I have been getting on Fortnite.
That's
racking up some wins.
They brought back Season 1. Fortnite did a great thing and brought back the seasons when we were younger, the nostalgia. They kind of been doing a lot recently with the updates. They just brought it back to the simplest form, and everyone's enjoying it a lot.
I'm not sure if our older demographic of listeners is going to relate to the Fortnite part, but if we have any younger listeners out there, I know that they'll appreciate it. So we'll see.
Fortnite.
Yeah,
Fortnite. That's big for us.
Yeah.
My Swish this week is the Chicago Bears snapping a 10-game losing streak against
my Packers.
His Packers, conference rivals. Game-winning field goal. It feels good to be on the other side of this.
I bet it does.
I know you're obviously in the playoffs or not.
Yeah.
So
we don't have too much to be mad about.
No. I mean, it's just good to end the season on this kind of note. Maybe carry some momentum into the offseason. I don't know how much it's really going to do, but anytime we beat the Packers at Lambeau, too, it's a great feeling.
Stuff.
So my Swish for the week, Chicago Bears.
Yeah, so that's my brick. Is the Packers losing to the Bears, because I feel like losing to the Bears kind of makes you a little bit of a laughing stock in the NFL, because they're not a very good team.
Okay.
And they don't get too many wins.
We get it.
So, if you're going to lose to anyone, you don't want it to be the Bears.
That's fair.
But
you're in the playoffs, though. You are in the playoffs.
We are in the playoffs.
So you got the Eagles first round. That's going to be a tough one.
Yep. Oh, well.
Well, best of luck.
Oh, well.
My brick for the week is playing only 4 years of college basketball now. The NCAA is appealing or trying to file a motion to allow 5 years of eligibility for all college athletes.
That'd be great. That sounds awesome.
I'm in my 5th year, and I feel like I'm kind of a trailblazer of this, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe I even have another year if this goes through, so I could just play here forever.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Seems like you've already been here forever.
Playing only 4 years of college sports, that is out. It is now the time of playing as much college basketball, whatever the sport may be, as you can. So I just thought that was kind of funny.
That is kind of funny.
Pretty much play.
Honestly, I was kind of looking forward to. I think after this year, there'll be no more. If the motion doesn't go through, right, there'll be no more 5th years. Yep. So I was just kind of looking to playing against dudes that aren't 25 anymore, being a young 20-year-old.
Yeah, you might be out of luck.
But I guess not.
That's
tough.
Cool.
We'll figure it out. That's
all right. With that.
That sucks.
Want to go to starting 5?
What's up?
Let's do it. Starting 5. Best movies of all time.
Best movies of all
There's
time.
There's a lot of options. Yeah, maybe like our favorite movie.
My favorite movies of all time.
Our favorite movies.
Yeah, I looked at your list and there was not a single one of.
Okay. So this will be interesting. I think we should do some honorable mentions too, because there's a lot of good ones.
There are a lot of good ones.
And I have a pretty long list, and I want to touch on some different genres. So.
Okay.
Who started last time?
I don't remember. Danny, do you remember?
I can't remember. I think I got Steph. So
Connor
it's
again.
my turn to start.
Yeah. It was Christmas. Yeah, you did. You got
okay.
So it's
all right.
Is it me?
Yeah. Let's see it.
Well, that's kind of tough then. I've got a strange list here.
Let's pull up my list here.
Nah, I've got a pretty good number one. Forrest Gump.
Okay, that was on my list.
Really?
That was on my list.
Cool.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mum always said that I was kind of like him growing up. Old Forrest Gump.
Really?
A little bit. Yeah.
I can see that.
Because I was like gangly, had big long legs, big knobbly knees, and kind of ran a little funny. Yeah, he is when he's a kid. Yeah. So Forrest Gump's my number one pick.
All right, with my number one pick, this has been a popular one around our program recently with dudes watching it. I know yesterday a group of them watched this movie, and I didn't know what was going on, or else I would have joined. But Interstellar is my favorite movie.
It is your favorite movie?
It's my favorite movie, and it's going to be number one on my list for that reason.
It's on a lot of lists.
It is. It's a popular one.
It's a
I think
movie.
a lot of people. There's a lot of teammates I think that agree with me. They were talking about it yesterday.
Okay. Number 2 pick. Shout out Sean Logan with this one. Can I pick a whole franchise, or does it have to be one movie? Because
I was thinking the same thing. I think it gets tough if we start to pick franchises.
I know. Well, I've got a specific movie here too.
Maybe say the franchise and pick your favorite one out of the franchise, but then I won't take like whatever franchise. You know what I mean?
Transformers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a couple of franchises on here. That was not one of them.
Yeah, Sean and I earlier this winter break maybe, or during the end of the semester, we watched every single Transformers movie, and I think they're incredible. Something about just the big robots running around blowing stuff up gets me.
Yeah,
and I love it.
it's
But specifically
movie.
specifically Dark of the Moon.
Okay,
might be the best one. Yeah.
Nice.
So Transformers Dark of the Moon.
I actually had a friend in middle school randomly whose dad was
Michael Bay.
No. But he helped with the production of those movies.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
For my second pick, what should I go with here? There's so many good options.
You had a long list.
I do have a long list. I'm gonna go with Inception.
Yep.
It's right up there with Interstellar.
Understandable.
It's a little bit of it messes with your mind a little bit, which I like.
Yep.
The end, there's a crazy cliffhanger that I still can't get over, and you still don't really know what happened. You could look up all this stuff on Reddit or YouTube to explain it, and you still don't quite get it.
Yeah.
So it kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger, but I kind of like that feeling.
Yeah.
And I like throughout the movie not knowing exactly what's happening and trying to figure it out. So Inception is going to be my number 2 pick.
Nice, dude. It's a pretty good pick. Okay, number 3 for me. I'm going to go with The Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
I looked at a list of like best movies of all time, and it's number 1. Like I don't know.
Wow.
The movie website I went on.
Yeah.
So The Shawshank Redemption, I feel like that's a pretty good pick. Good value
It
getting
is.
it at number 3 as well.
Yeah.
Just a great film.
All right.
Morgan Freeman. That's
I've
great.
I've heard a lot about it.
You've never
I've
seen it?
never seen it through. I've only seen
It
parts
is a
of
long
it.
movie.
Yeah.
But I think you should definitely invest a couple of hours,
I
maybe
should,
today.
especially with all this time that
yeah,
we
you've
have
got so much
over
time.
break.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll look into that. For my number 3, I'm going to go with Gladiator. Classic. Are you not entertained?
I don't think I've ever seen it.
So that's something that you should invest some time into, because that is an entertaining movie. Okay. And I think they're coming out with a second one soon.
It is out, I think.
If not, they have already. So
out,
maybe we could turn it into a binge and watch both.
Definitely.
So I'll definitely watch that with you.
Yeah. Okay. One I've watched recently. Actually. Yeah, I'm going to go with not one I've watched recently, but Good Will Hunting.
Okay. I have seen that one too. I'm not a big fan of that one.
No?
To be honest. I thought it was a little slow for me.
I feel like that's the point of it, though. It's kind of like it's monologue-y and it's emotional. I thought it was great. I watched it with Reed and Mike and all of that.
It's highly rated.
Almost
There's no taking that from
almost
it.
had us to tears,
personally.
to be honest.
Really?
No, but close. Incredible movie. So,
all right.
That's my number 4 pick.
All right.
I really like my list so far, by the way.
I do too. You don't like yours?
I love my list.
We're not taking anything really from each other, so it's just the battle of the opposites, I guess. I'm gonna go. I think I put too many things on my list. I don't know what to pick. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and go with Step Brothers. I need to put some comedy on here. I had some 3 serious movies.
Funny.
Step Brothers is one of my go-tos. I could watch that a million times and crack up hysterically every single time. I love Will Ferrell. So I had to put him on.
That's another one I don't think I've seen. Those really aren't my kind of movies. Those like slapstick
comedy
kind of ones. No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Obviously there are some good ones, and I'm sure I'll get a chuckle out of if I watched it, but not really my favorites. That's a good pick.
Well, I'll take it at number 4.
Yeah. Okay. And then for my number 5th pick, my 5th pick, I've still got some good ones on my list. Dead Poets Society.
I've
you
never
heard of that?
even heard of that
It's another one with Robin Williams. I'm getting some nods from behind the camera here. Really good one. It's kind of similar to Good Will Hunting. Robin Williams is like this private school teacher, and he teaches this English class to all of these private school boys. Okay. And it's a really good movie, really emotional, kind of tearjerker a little bit. Makes you think. It's a really good one. So I'd definitely recommend that as well. Actually, if you didn't like Good Will Hunting, maybe don't watch it, but it's definitely a good one to watch.
Okay. For my last pick, I got a couple on here that I think are good. And I kind of want to take it back to my childhood a little bit. And now I'm deciding between 2. I have to go with Star Wars. I watched so much Star Wars as a kid, and specifically The Empire Strikes Back. Okay, the original trilogy is the best.
You need to say a specific there, because Star Wars is so broad.
The original trilogy for sure, and Empire Strikes Back was probably my favorite out of those 3. But I watched those movies all the time. We would go on long road trips as a family. Yeah. We had a little movie player in our car. Yeah. And we would just watch Star Wars over and over and over again. So maybe my most watched movie ever, to be honest, throughout my childhood. So got to put that one on there. We'll go with The Empire Strikes Back.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like my list.
I like my list too. I think we're going to be catering to very different groups of people.
Yeah,
with our list.
We'll see what the voters think. Yeah. But how about some honorable mentions? Do you have anything else? Because I want to go through a couple that didn't make my list.
Maybe one.
Okay. For my last pick, I was deciding between that and the Harry Potter.
The
Harry Potter
series.
franchise.
I feel like they could have definitely made their way onto the list. I
so
was binging those this Christmas. They did like a marathon on the
that's
TV
like a
channel,
winner-ish.
and I watched
like it's got a winner
every
vibe.
single one 1 through 7, 1 through 8, however many there are.
Yeah. So those are good. The movies are better than the books, in my opinion. I got through a book and a half.
I'm not a book reader.
Yeah. Maybe for my New Year's resolution, I'm trying to read more. So maybe I'll
Harry Potter.
I'll read some Harry Potter books. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. I had The Prestige on here. I had The Machinist.
Okay.
I had Dune.
I've never seen
a recent
those,
one.
but
You
people
should
have
definitely
been
watch
all
them,
over
especially
those.
Part 2.
Yeah.
My list only had 8.
There's I watched 2 recently that are a little bit more psychological thrillers that I really liked. Fight Club was really good, and something Island, Shutter Island.
Shutter Island.
Fight Club
Classics,
and Shutter
yeah.
Islands.
Okay.
Those are great.
I'm surprised they weren't on any of our lists.
The Godfather's a classic. I had that on my list. That's, again, a little bit slower, though.
Yeah.
Not exactly my style. I know a lot of people do like that. I had Happy Gilmore on here. Avengers is another. Just the Marvel movies in general I really like. Top Gun 1 and 2.
Okay.
I think the first one's a little bit better, but they're both great movies. And I put Cars on here, too. That's another childhood one of mine. Probably the best animated movie out there still, in my opinion. So those are my honorable mentions. I think I really could have taken it any direction and been happy with mine.
Yeah, I like that. Make sure we don't include those on the list, though. We only get 5 on our starting 5. So I don't want you getting any extra votes because you've got some good honorable mentions. So
no, I'm
make sure we
happy
get that
with
clear.
my 5. I'm happy with my 5.
Good. I like my 5, too.
All right.
So
May the best man win.
You want to get to our interview with Michael Katsock?
Let's do it. Let's bring in Michael Katsock.
Yeah.
Looking forward to hearing from him. He's
Very
got some
much
big
so.
news to share, too.
He
got
does.
some big news about him.
I think we alluded to it already, maybe, but
might
we'll let
have.
him tell you about it himself, too.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, we now welcome senior Michael Katsock to the Inside Out Show, and we want to be the first to congratulate you on your newly named captain of the team this year.
Appreciate you guys.
Congratulations. How does it tell the fans how that went down and how you're feeling about that?
Yeah, well, first off, appreciate you guys for having me on. I'm excited to be the next guest on the Inside Out Show. So yeah, we were at our team meal up in Fairfax, Virginia, before our game against Mason the night before, and Coach was addressing the team and mentioned how Connor and Reed would be out there in the circle in the captain's meeting before the game, and then turned to me with no warning and said that for the rest of the season I would be joining them, to which I was pretty caught off guard, but really, really excited for this opportunity and really honored to have this title.
And what does that look like for you now? Does your role change at all? Do you think you're just going to keep doing what you've been doing? You know, now that you have this captain title, how are you going to take that and carry that with you for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I don't think anything drastic happens. No drastic changes. But I think I have now a more accountability to myself and to this team to make sure that we're continuing to get better every single day. Making sure I'm bringing the right energy, holding guys accountable, and making sure that we take the steps needed to become a championship team. That's my number one goal. My freshman year, we were able to win a A10 regular season championship, make March Madness, and I think we have the opportunity to really do something special this season. So just whatever is asked of me, I'm ready to do it full speed, full steam ahead, and can't wait to get out there again this week.
You talk about the details of bringing the right energy in practice. We were kind of wondering, we had a couple of your nicknames here, and we were wondering what you thought about them. So obviously DMs, we call them DMs now, stands for Details Master. You've got Socks, of course, Saki. Do you have any other ones you can think of, or what are your favorites?
Yeah, just a clarification there. Coach Matheny calls me Saki, not to be confused with the Japanese beverage. That's just a play on my last name, Katsock, Saki. Just wanted to clear that up for everybody. It's nothing to do with the Japanese beverage. Would not know anything about that, so wanted to clear that up for everybody.
But DMs, you want to talk about that a little bit?
DMs, yeah. So Matt and I Coach Matt McKillop and I were meeting one day, and he had mentioned that I'd really been bringing great energy and details, level of focus to everything we're doing, and these things really matter for a championship program, and I take a lot of pride in them. And he called me Master of the Details, and then also would switch it up to Detail Master. So it's a fun little nickname. Has nothing to do with DMs, the popular culture term, direct messaging on any of these social media apps. But yeah, so Detail Master. So that's how that came about.
How about other guys on the team? We have a few other nicknames. You probably have the most, but we've talked about this before on the show. Do you have any favorites around the program as far as nicknames go outside of yourself?
That's a great question. I like Hunt Game. That's a big one from Coach Matheny. I don't know. It's fun. It's frisky. I don't know. I don't know. It kind of embraces your wild side. I don't know. Hunt Game. I don't know. I like that. B-Rock for Brock Matheny.
B-Rock. Yep.
Roberts Blooms is pretty creative. He loves that one. Brock walks anywhere and he yells, B-Rock. So, yeah, that's always fun. Italian Stallion, my roommate, Riccardo Guidini. He's a big movie guy. So, Rocky, Italian Stallion. He's embraced that. So those are some good ones.
And we just touched on some movies earlier in the show. So Ricky actually helped me out thinking of questions for you and also with my list for the movies. So
sounds good.
Shout out Ricky. And Brock also helped out with some questions for you too. B-Rock. So we're going to switch it up a little bit now to New Year's resolutions. Obviously, we're kicking off 2025. There's a lot of things that people want to get better at. A lot of people take this time to improve personally. Is there anything that you've been trying to do since the new year started to better yourself or others?
Yeah, I was thinking about this last couple of days because I didn't set any super formal ones. One is definitely to read more. So, I'm setting the goal of a chapter a day of whatever book I'm reading. Once I pick, I just finished one up, and so I'm getting ready to start a new one. So, reading more and also trying to limit time on the screens. That's a big one. This I feel like I've just, like everybody, especially over break, just find myself too much on the phone.
Too much Fortnite, dude. I'm playing way too much Fortnite.
Yeah. So just trying to get better at that. Those two things I think is
nice, dude.
Top of mind.
I'm glad. Connor, you have any New Year's resolutions you're looking for, or?
I do. I also have the reading goal. I just started reading more recently. Socks actually. Oh wow, what do we got here? Socks. We were on a road trip and Socks was reading a book. This was right before the new year, and I was like, wow, I should probably read. So you actually have sparked that interest in mine, and I'm gonna try to read every day for the new year, as well as do some yoga every morning. I've gotten away. I used to love doing yoga. I've gotten away from it, so I'm gonna. Ever since the new year, I've done 15 minutes of yoga when I wake up, and I'm gonna try to keep that going.
You still have
looks like we have
yoga mat in your room? You still
I
have
do.
that?
Yep, I sure do. And it looks like Hunter has a prop here for his New Year's resolution.
Yeah, so my New Year's resolution is to play the harmonica more, because I remember at the red-black scrimmage, I was talking about that I recently bought a harmonica and that I wanted to play it more because I just went and watched the Bob Dylan movie, and I've been playing a lot of his songs on the guitar, and he plays the harmonica a lot in his songs. But I thought I'd show a little harmonica.
Show us what
Let's
you got.
hear it. Yeah, hold it. Be my honor.
It's pretty good.
That's just a little something. But I'm working on that. That's going to be my 2025 resolution, is to play the harmonica more. So that's me. I just thought that would be fun. So, yeah. So let's change speed a little.
Okay.
On-campus study spots. Nummit, great spot to go to have a coffee, do some work. Union, we just were wondering what your top study spots are, because we know we see you at Nummit quite often. We're just wondering if you enjoy studying there, what that's about.
Yeah, and Nummit. Thing about Nummit is I never really went there my first few years.
Yeah.
But I really love the ambiance.
Something changed recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a couple teacher meetings there this semester, one-on-one office hours. Some professors who like to do it at Nummit. So, little switch up. Sometimes hanging out with friends. Sometimes less work gets done than should.
Oh,
at Nummit.
I believe that.
So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. Sometimes your friends are distracting you talking. It's a little loud in there. But if you're trying to get a little bit of work done but also socialize during your busy day, it's a great spot. Union, grabbing a snack. I'm a big eat on the go, so snack and homework, trying to fit everything in throughout the day.
You are always eating on the go. I feel like I always see you walking around with some type of food or snack, walking into practice or lift.
Yeah, big snack guy. So you have to find these calories somehow. Besides that, I really like the library. If you want ultimate quiet, library basement.
Basement?
You'll find me there.
You're
taking
crazy.
Some reviews.
Basement is crazy.
Really locking in. Yeah, that's if I'm feeling like we got to get some stuff done.
Fair enough.
That's for sure. Freshman year, I like the Belk, sub-basement of Belk. There's a mini study center. That was big for freshman year.
Lesser known.
Those are the main spots.
All right.
Yeah.
So then how about basketball-wise? You've been here for a while now, maybe the longest on the team, our current roster. Hello to Nick. I think he also photobombed our last episode. Don't make a habit out of this, Nick. So basketball, you've been here for probably the longest on the team. You've played for Coach Bob McKillop. You played for Coach Matt McKillop. So maybe just touch on, their different coaching styles. What's the same, what's different, and what you like about each coach.
Yeah, that's a great question. Coach Bob McKillop definitely had a different style. It was much more, I feel like, in your face a little bit. Like it was really senior-led team my freshman year, and we had some great players, upperclassmen. So he didn't really have to be, too much on those guys, but the new guys, you were baptized by fire. It wasn't a lot of explaining. I got in there, and I was trying to get an explanation for a couple of these drills, and my teammates were like, just watch the guy in front of you. Do not go first. And I was like, what's going on here, guys? And the ball was zipping around the court. Shots were flying. I walked into a drill, and there was 3 or 4 basketballs flying around, and I was like, took a deep breath, like, all right, what did I get myself into here? So just really baptized by fire. That's how I'd characterize it. With Coach Matt, I came into my second year, so I had some familiarity with things. But I thought it was really good that year when we had a lot of new guys, yourself included, Connor. That summer, we really broke everything down. And that was really helpful for me, too. As a freshman, I was thrown into it. But having that off season to really break everything down was super helpful for me, making sure that I could take that next step in my development. And I think for everybody to get up on the same page, it was necessary for us. So I really liked that. 2 different styles, both work very well. But I really liked how we broke everything down step by step in our secondary break, our defense, and having that complete clarity was really, really helpful for me.
Yeah, I agree. The styles definitely have their uniqueness to them, but a lot of the stuff we're doing on the court is very similar. So
absolutely,
which is great. Yeah. And then how about your favorite career memory? Do any stick out to you, whether that's in a game, scout team, practice, road trip? Like, what sticks out to you when you're looking back as a senior on your last 4 years?
Yeah, that's a great question. I haven't thought about that before. Obviously, making March Madness, that's a dream come true. We had some great games that season. We had a win at VCU. That was pretty awesome. They stormed off the court and didn't shake our hands. So I remember that one. They were pretty upset. We beat them at the crib. So
at the crib.
We also had a great win against Richmond. Mike Jones had an unbelievable game, hit a game winner at Richmond that season. We always have a lot of tough battles with Richmond, so that was an awesome game. Then that Michigan State game ended up being a really close loss, but I'll never forget that. Those are some big ones. Wright State, sophomore year, Connor, that was an awesome double OT win.
Foster Lawyer game.
Foster Lawyer. Probably had like 38, 11, and 9 or something like that, and all the new guys became very familiar with him very quickly. He can go off at any time. So shout out to Foster. Those are some of the big games I remember. Alabama win my freshman year. We went to Birmingham, beat a top 10 team. That was pretty amazing. We've had some great wins throughout the years. I'm forgetting some probably. Connor, we had a really good win against South Carolina. That was big. Maryland last year. Some of those were really fun, and some of those MTEs. So
yeah, obviously Atlantis this year, just going down there was pretty cool. Same with our trip to Europe. Obviously not a game, but that was definitely one of the highlights of my career.
That was awesome. Yeah, the Providence game this year was really fun. I feel like we were clicking on all cylinders, and really, really cool to go down there and get a big win against a pretty good Providence team. So.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite practice moments? Because you're on scout team a lot, and we were wondering who your favorite player is to be on scout team. Because obviously the way you play changes on the opponent we have coming up. So we were just kind of wondering what kind of player you like to be in practice the most. Because you can kind of do a bit of everything out there.
Well, thank you. Yeah, sometimes I ask to do different things. I switch it up between guards and bigs, or shooters or non-shooter, depending on who we need and the player that is the focus. I really like being Gibson Jimerson for St. Louis because I get to shoot whenever I want. And pretty much Coach Matheny or Reeves, whoever's doing the scout, it's changed over the years, but it'll be let it fly. And they don't have to tell me twice, so I'll put a lot of shots up those days, and it's pretty fun. And guys get pretty upset when you make a contested one, and I just shrug my shoulders because he can shoot, so you got to put a hand up.
My least favorite thing that you do when you're on scout team is whenever you're playing a sprint two, like a 3-point shooter, you turn into a slasher and you're getting on the rim. You don't even look at the rim because we're sprinting to you, trying to make sure you don't shoot a three. You don't even look at the rim. You just drive straight past us. And it gets
you got to keep them on the toes, yeah.
Really
you got to be honest with
every
the
single
closeout. So
I mean,
give a nice shot fake sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes get some
Gets
angry
frustrating
words
sometimes.
or angry looks.
Yeah. Or a little foul here and there because no one's calling fouls when the scout team's out.
Yeah, there's no foul, so you better. Yeah,
it's
you
a
better
war.
Bring your lunch pail.
It is a war. Bring your chicken. Yeah.
Bring your chicken. That's a Coach Matheny saying. No one really knows what it means, but
bring it. All right. Well, I think that wraps up our interview with Sox. You got anything else for us, Cap?
No, I love what you guys are doing here. Keep up the great work. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Appreciate you coming on. And we have a gift for you. Thanks to Carburritos.
Thank you. I'm a big Carburritos guy, so.
That's right. So your next meal is on us. Thanks to the Inside Out Show. Thank you, Carburritos.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael Katsock. And congratulations to our newest team captain.
Thank you very much.
And that wraps up another exciting episode of the Inside Out Show presented by Carburritos. We want to thank all you guys for listening.
Thank you for tuning in, yes. And we just wanted to plug some of our upcoming games. We've got Fordham Saturday, 2 p.m. Great game. We played them 3 times last year, and we were 2-1 against them. So this one, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of familiarity there.
Yeah, got to continue our undefeated streak at home.
Yes,
undefeated
so be
this
there
year
for
at
that,
home.
Wildcat fans. And also we wanted to shout out the women's basketball team who are now 3-0 in the A10. They beat LaSalle, Duquesne, and St. Louis. St. Louis, who they beat very handily, set a program high in three-pointers made. 14 three-pointers, I think it was. Beat them by 40. Incredible win. Our girls are playing really well, continuing what they were doing last year.
Yeah, we want to remind everyone to stop by Carburritos and mention Davidson Basketball or the Inside Out Show for a free chips and salsa with any order of an entree. We want to thank all you guys for listening. Very happy New Year. Have a great start to your 2025, and we'll see you next time.